Welcome, everybody, to the Create and Hustle podcast show. My name is Jacob, and today we're going over is laser engraving the best side hustle to get into for 2024. We're going to kind of go over kind of some items that you can engrave, the different types of lasers that you can get, maybe even go into as much as some business side of it, where to market, how to market, pros and cons between certain lasers. So, a good rounded video today. And so, we're going to start off with laser engraving and whether or not it's something that you would even be interested in, something that you think that you could profit and make some money. Or maybe you just want to do it for a hobby. There's that too. But it's really, this video is going to be geared towards ones that want to make some money for sure. So, laser engraving, I have a CO2 laser. It's a 60-watt CO2 laser. I'm trying to think. The types of lasers, if I can, think here, is CO2 lasers, diode lasers, fiber lasers, and we can kind of go more into that here real quick. So your diode lasers typically are going to be your cheaper lasers. Like you can get into a diode laser for like $300. It may not be the best, but if all you just want to do is engrave a little bit here and there, maybe even like engrave on leather, maybe some wood. Diode lasers, you can cut some thin stuff, but I really wouldn't suggest cutting anything too thick. You're going to end up having to do multiple passes. It's going to take forever for it to cut. So if you're really serious about whether or not you want to do laser engraving and cutting as a side hustle, you've also got to think time is money. Like, yeah, you can get into some equipment pretty cheap, but this type of work, you can really outgrow your laser pretty quick. So just know that diode lasers, to me, I wouldn't even look at them, to be honest with you. It's more of like a hobby machine than anything else. I'm not saying you can't make some money with it. It's just if you're serious about doing anything with laser engraving, skip the diode laser. Save up your money. Get a CO2 laser for sure. So that you have a opportunity to grow and to do other types of engraving and cutting, and you can broaden your overall product. I guess is how I see it. You're not stuck just doing one thing on it. So yeah, the initial investment, like I said, might be a little bit more, but CO2 lasers, you can get into them for, $1,000. It might be one of the smaller like Omtech K40s. By the time you get your computer and get all the equipment that you need to set that up, but you can do some stuff there. Let's take a look here. So, welcome everybody that's just joining in. We're talking about whether or not laser engraving is a good side hustle for 2024, or even down the road. So let's see here. If we go to Omtech's website, you can get a K40 for $660. It comes with everything that you need to get started, except for the computer. So if you're not familiar with laser engraving with certain machines, you're gonna need light burn, more than likely, is what I suggest as far as the software to be able to run the laser itself. So you got to factor that in. You're looking like $80. So, like I said, you still can get into it for under $1,000. If you got the money, I would start looking into some bigger lasers. If you have the space, somewhere around like a 60-watt laser. That way, you can engrave a lot larger items, both in length, width, and even height. Because you start getting into some of these bigger lasers, then you can start looking at doing tumblers. Stuff like the K40 and your smaller lasers, Glowforge, and all those type of machines, those smaller desktop machines, you're going to be limited to the thickness. Like the K40 here is only an 8x12 working area. So, I mean, you still can do it. But again, if you're thinking about growing, then don't get a K40. Don't get a diode laser. Invest in something that's going to last you a little while. If you have the space and the financial resources for it. Most of these places will offer financing. Like you can get an Omtech through Amazon and do the financing through them. So many different options. But yeah, K40, 8x12. And then, like I said, you have to get the computer and light burn with it. But that'll at least get you started. You could make jewelry. You could make coasters. You could do small wood signs. I guess with the K40, small working bed, stuff like that. But like I said, you're going to be limited. But I still think you can make some money off of it. I mean, if you already have a computer, it'd definitely be easy to recoup your money on that and start making a profit on a $650 laser versus a few $1,000s. But if you market it right, get that laser that's a couple $1,000s, $3,000. You can do so much more, and not only that, you can do it faster. The K40 is a 40 watt, so you're going to be very limited to the thickness of material that you're cutting, along with the speeds. So you got to keep that in mind. Like, it may sound good, the price, but I really think it's too easy to outgrow. Now they offer, say, like a 50 watt laser. That might not be too bad. 50 watt looks like, I mean, shoot, you can get a 50 watt for a couple thousand. The only thing that I don't like is it's not that much of an upgrade between that and the K40. I guess it's 10 more watts. The cutting area is only 12 by 20 versus, what did I say? 12 by 20 versus 8 by 12. So, almost double, but it's $2,200 for the thing. And like it's built where you'd almost have to have like a table, so it's not going to come. It's not going to come with a platform. And at least a 60 watt laser, you could get a manual focus for $2,600. And I talk about in my videos all the time that you really don't need a autofocus for a laser, because the manual focus Omtech lasers do the exact same thing when it comes to the laser itself. Like, the only reason you want an autofocus, in my opinion, is so that you have a electronic stepper motor to control the Z axis, and that's the axis that's your up and down. The manual focus, you have to do it with a knob, but it's like, okay, well, you can save $600 just getting the manual focus. So let's see. Let's go to some comments here. Let's see. What's my thoughts on the X-Tool P2? Uh, the X-Tool, I'm trying to think which one I looked at. If it was the P2 or the F1. I had to look at that again, man. Let's see here. See if I'm looking at the same one I'm thinking of. I might be thinking about the other one. Okay, no, I'll be honest with you. I hadn't seen this one. Maybe it's the F1 with the conveyor belt. I don't know. Let's take a look here. So the X-Tool P255 desktop CO2 laser on their website's $4,000. It says you got a pass-through automatic focus. It has its own software. The processing area is 24 by 12. So, let's see. It's got a built-in camera. I mean, all the main things that people want in a laser that is user friendly. So that's what, to me, that's what X-Tool offers. It's kind of like Glowforge and a lot of these companies. Like they're trying to offer a one-stop shop. Like they do really good marketing. And in my opinion, they need to increase the price because of the level of marketing that they do. It's just, if you've got the space for $4,000, you can get an 80-watt Omtech laser. And not everybody's into Omtech. I get that, but that kind of lets you know where the pricing is on stuff like that, because yeah, you can get an 80-watt Omtech for $3,000 in one of the manual focus lasers. So that's the only thing that I don't like about stuff like that. And of course, this is just my opinion, guys. I mean, I'm not telling you, you have to get an Omtech or an Eon Thunder or anything like that, because some of those do get up into like the $9, $10, $15,000 range. But honestly, if you're looking something like the desktop size, like that X-Tool P2, I would look into the Omtech Polar. It's a 50-watt desktop laser. It's a 20 by 11 cutting surface, so slightly smaller. But like, what, almost $1,300 cheaper, give or take. So, but the X-Tool itself doesn't look like a bad machine. I definitely don't want to discourage you from looking at it. It's just on a price standpoint for what it is. I don't know if it's quite worth the $4,000 price tag. To be honest with you, just kind of like Glowforge. I really don't think that's worth the $6,000 to $7,000 price tag. Let's see. Been there, done that. The 50-watt laser does more than I've set up plenty of them. Yeah. I agree. I'm running the 60 watt. I really wish I had gotten the 80 watt, to be honest. And honestly, even a manual focus one I would have been happy with. Just because the laser tubes on an 80 watt or higher will last longer than your 60 watt lasers. Let's see if we have any more. Appreciate everybody joining. So yeah, the 50 watt shoot, yeah. Because I mean, you're talking. Like I said, let's see. Yeah, you're talking $2,200 for one. Now, of course, when you get light burn and everything else. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it doesn't have the built-in chillers like some of the other machines, like your smaller desktop machines. So you still have to get a chiller. Looks like, which you can get a chiller for a couple $100. Shoot, I'm even running a 5200, and it's basically like a radiator. So like if you're doing limited jobs and say you're running it inside, you have air conditioning, you're not running it for 15 hours a day, you'd be okay with that. If you're running anything bigger, like you're starting to get into the 80 watt lasers, then you got to factor in the chillers, and that's another expense with the water chillers. What's cool is Omtech has these packages, and they include all this into it. And when I say include, it's like they might give you $50 off or whatever when they bundle it. But yeah, it's like $500 for a chiller. They suggest 50 watts and higher, 50 watt lasers and higher, but I promise you, if you're only running it for 30 minutes here and there, you can get away with the CW5000. Unless you're like in an area where it's out in your shop and it's 100 degrees, and like I said, you're engraving for hours at a time, then don't get the CW5000, because even though it says it's a water chiller, it's not a water chiller. It's like a pump, a water pump with a fan, like a radiator. It's going to take the ambient temperature plus the heat of the lasers. So it's just not the best solution for your larger lasers or your longer run times. But it's significantly cheaper. I want to say I bought mine for a couple $100, and that's even if they offer them. I don't even see them on Omtech's website anymore, which probably isn't a bad thing, considering they might have had issues with people buying that water chiller, and maybe people were having issues with it and cracking their tube or creating some major issue that they just didn't want to deal with that as on a customer service level. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the 5200s that run 50, yeah, because they are chillers. Yeah. The CW5000 is not a chiller, not a water chiller. I honestly don't know why they label it that way, and do your research. Do your research. Just because I'm giving you some information, please do your research if you're thinking about getting any type of machine, because that way you know exactly what you're getting. But That's the only thing that's deceiving is if you look at the CW5000 and you're like, man, this water chiller, because it says water chiller on it and it's like 150 bucks, 200 bucks. It's not. Been there, done that. Like you said, it is not a water chiller. It is merely a pump, almost like a radiator. It has a fan. It's going to use ambient temperature to try to cool it down. So if you're in a hot garage, a hot shop, you're going to have a hard time and potentially damage your machine. Look at a true water chiller like the 5200, or is it the 5202? Let me look here. 5202, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's the 5202. I gotta look at mine again. I'm pretty sure it's the 5000. Give me a second. Ugh. Oh dang. Nope. I lied. I lied. That's what I get for assuming. Mine's at CW3000. So the CW3000 is the radiator. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. So the CW3000 is the water pump radiator. Even though it says chiller, and let me see if I can mess this up here real quick, so that you got, excuse me, the 3000. I don't know why I keep saying 5000. The CW3000, it says water chiller on there and gives all these great specs and everything. It even says it's for 60 and 80 watt, and like it looks good. Like it's 165 bucks, but it's not good for your laser if you're running long periods of time. So go ahead and get the 5202 is what's on the 5202 is what's on their website now for Omtech. So I don't run my machine all the time. I do really short runs. I monitor the temperature so that I don't exceed, what I feel is the best temperature to maintain. So been there, done that. It says that will shorten the life of your 60 watt. If you run it all the time, yeah, for sure. Extreme heat, for sure. Let's see here. Let's go back. It depends on the room temperature. Yes, yeah, it depends on the ambient temperature on the CW3000, along with the length of time that you're engraving. Yeah, I agree with that too to some extent. The laser tubes have a shelf life. If you don't use it enough, you'll shorten the life expectancy. I don't know. I have heard about the shelf life. That's why you don't want to order a laser tube and like as a backup and just leave it on the shelf, because I hear that yes, I don't know, they deteriorate. I really don't know the science behind it on that, to be honest with you guys. But I've always heard to not store one. I operate mine every weekend, but it's not for hours. I've had mine it'll be 4 years this year. Without issue, knock on wood, as far as the tube goes. So we'll keep that going. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's good. Been there, done that. Let's see, for the price, you can change machines yearly for 10 years and be cheaper. I don't know what that is. Oh, get a metal one, not a glass tube machine epilogue. Yeah, no. People that are just starting out that don't know too much about epilogues. I mean, that's like your high end Ferrari. In my opinion, like that's your real high end lasers. What are those like 25, 30,000? Yeah, I gotta agree with been there, done that. Epilogue, Trotec are overrated and overpriced. Um, to me, you can get so much more for the price going with an Eon or a Thunder. Um, and honestly, that's probably going to be my next step as far as um, upgrading, down the road. But I really don't have any reason to upgrade just yet because the Omtech. And then plus, I really like what Eon's doing with their whole system as far as changing out lenses and just some of the technology that they're putting into it. The new Thunders have metal RF. Really? Okay, I didn't know that. The new Thunder has metal RF system now. I did not know that. Let's see. Yeah, I'll have to look more into that. No water pump. So is it like the Eon? When you say no water pump, like you're saying none at all, or is it one of those things where it's like the Eon lasers where it's built into the machine? Because that's one thing I like about Eon doing that is like it's built into the machine and you don't hear nothing. It's crazy. Okay. Uh, I can't remember what laser I was watching a video and um, the laser tube was basically like a heat sink around the tube and fans on it. I don't know if it's similar to that, and I can't even remember what. Maybe it was a Thunder. Okay. Yes. Yeah. You know what? Now that you mentioned that, uh, uh, I don't remember if the model number, the GCC 180, but I do remember the video. It was a smaller one, a small Thunder, and it was in case. All right, my machine has Sinrad tubes. I don't know if Sinrad. I have not heard of that. But I don't know. I don't even try to pretend that I know everything because uh, I don't. So I have to look some of this stuff up. Those look like fancy tubes. That's crazy. All encased and everything. That looks like it'd be a lot easier to change one out than a glass tube for sure. Could be wrong about that, but um, that's crazy. Yeah, that's not something I've seen before. They're refillable too. Interesting. No, it's crazy. There's so many different options out there right now, from different machines. It just really comes down to like what's your budget, I guess. I mean, you can. This is how I see it. Like you can either. I know that this is horrible because you hear so much. Buy once, cry once, and just pay the $15,000, or get an Omtech for a few $1,000s. Um, I don't know. I mean, I guess it just really comes down to your budget and what you can do at the end of the day. Um, I can't say I regret buying the Omtech at all. Like to me, it was a good machine for the price to get me into lasers. So yeah, 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 yeah. Go ahead, ask. Can I ask a Lightburn question? Sociopath. Yeah, I hope I'm saying it right. I'm like, am I reading that right? That's a badass name. If that's it, that is a sick name. But yeah, ask away on your Lightburn question. Not that I know the answer, but hey, I'll do what I can. And it seems like we have some really good guys, or gals in the live to help out. So if I have a rectangle and I want to add a circle, but a certain distance from the rectangle, is there a way to do it? If I have a rectangle and want to add a circle, are you trying to connect the two? I guess I'm confused on that part. Because you can add the rectangle and the let's see here. Not trying to connect, I'm trying to make. Yeah, I'm sorry. Shoot me a message, and because maybe these other guys are understanding. I apologize. I'm trying not trying to connect. I'm trying to make a plastic plate. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's the only thing. Are you adding the circle within the rectangle? Yeah, yeah. Shoot me a message, and I'll see what I can do. Because um, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, because all that I know is like if you're trying to connect two shapes and do like a weld where it makes one shape, but that's so do you need the but you need the circles outside of the rectangle, or inside the rectangle, because the rectangle or inside the rectangle, because yeah, like Midwest Hobby House just said, um, regardless if the okay, so are you trying to cut circles in are you trying to cut circles outside, or golly, I'm trying to explain this myself. Are you trying to cut the circles from within the rectangle? Yeah, because I like what Midwest Hobby House is saying. If you're trying to make circles within a rectangle and they have to be specific distance, um, let's see here. Let me. Yeah, it's going to be a combination of the ruler. I'm a Photoshop guy. Like that's my thing, or not Photoshop. I'm sorry, Illustrator. So I mean, this isn't perfect by any means, but I don't know if this helps any. Um, so like one of the comments was make a grid, and then you can put your circles within it, and then delete that grid, or draw your rectangle around that. Um, and I might be way off on what you're asking, or like someone also mentioned doing some lines, or I mean ruler lines. Um, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, again, shoot me a message, and maybe we can help each other out. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I could help you out there. There you go. Yeah, the grid tool. I mean, if that would help any. I hadn't messed with the grid tool, so I don't really mess, or I hadn't had to anyway. Um, but yeah, shoot me a message, guys. Well, we kind of went off on subject here, but hey, that's okay. I like the more organic stuff anyway. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump off, guys. If y'all have any questions, y'all are more than welcome to reach out. Um, and we'll try to do another live here pretty soon, here in the next few days. You're definitely more welcome to hit that follow button or check out some of my other videos, more instructional videos than anything. I'm still learning, so as I learn, I try to pass it on to you guys. So I hope y'all have a great day, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.